a UX session, right? So that we can learn about decision making in terms of what goes in and what shouldn't go into our design. These are the challenge most of us have, right? Of course, you experience it every day. You're trying to design something, but then you start asking yourself series of questions. What exactly should be here? Why should it be here? Or you just find yourself, cloning designs, but you don't even know why those specific components or those specific data is shown, right? Dashboard design is mostly about data, and yes, maybe this is new, right? Maybe this is new to you, right? When somebody say design at this point is all about data. When it comes to dashboards, it's mostly something that you would find yourself doing if you are building for enterprise. You find yourself doing this a lot, right? If you're building for enterprise, if you're also building for of course, small businesses, you should be looking at what you probably call admin portals, right? Admin portal where you probably gather information around let's just say general overview um, information, which is trying to understand like total count of this, total count of that, or maybe you get to analytics, right? Or maybe you start working with tables, let's say analytics slash charts, right? Or you get to work with tables. Um, yeah, paginated tables. I'm sure you know what that is. If you don't know, please, while I'm explaining, you can drop messages in the chat so that I can respond immediately. Okay. So if you're not working with either, creating components where you show some type of data, now that would of course depend on what you are designing. It would depend on the type of data you have. It would depend on the environment, right? The type of solution you're building for. Okay, so most people believe that dashboards should follow, some standards in terms of design, right? You should have side menu on one. You should have a side menu maybe on the left or on the right. You should have, some certain, type of um, components, even when you don't really have the best data to present in those components, you believe the design should, you know, have those components, right? Most times, designers tend to have problems with developers because, you want them to present something that you have no idea, where they are fetching that data from just because you think you're building a dashboard and that is how a dashboard should look like. So I want you to understand if there's one thing you should learn from this session is that it's more um, about the data and less about the appearance. Now, I say less about the appearance, but I did not say less about the UX. Okay, appearance is not UX. Just keep that in mind. The appearance is not UX. Of course, that's user experience. Okay, so the appearance is not the UX. You don't need to have a lot of things happening on the screen, whether it's a mobile screen or a desktop or web view. You don't need to have a lot of things happening before you have a good dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to ask one question now. Let's say um, you want to build a dashboard to manage, the heat level in your house, right? The heat level in your house, or maybe we can use something different, maybe like um that one might be too complex. Let's just work with the heat level in your house. So this is the description I'm going to give you. Remember, I love it when our sessions are very interactive. Okay. I'm going to give you a description. You can ask me questions, and based on the data we're able to, gather, let's try to build a simple dashboard from it. Okay. I don't need to give a definition of, what the dashboard is. I believe most of us know what a dashboard is, right? If you don't know what a dashboard is, let me see your hand. You can raise your hand if you don't know what a dashboard. If you are from my village and you probably don't know what a dashboard is. Okay, so I believe most of you know what a dashboard is, right? Um, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Our description. you are tasked to design a dashboard for a let's call it a smart home um, heating solution. Okay. Now, of course, if this is the task that comes to you, in most cases, this is how you receive the task, right? You have to ask a lot of questions, so you can at least understand what you are dealing with. But let's just say I dive into giving you some details. All right. So we have an apartment building with three flats. Okay, that's a three. Okay, let's just say one flat with okay, let's just say um three bedroom flats. Okay, and you need a dashboard in the master bedroom to monitor, or let's use track and operate the heating level in the house. Okay, so you have, of course, you have like three bedroom with dining, kitchen, and maybe a store room. That's okay. All right. So this is what we have, right? And where you come in is as the expert, right? So we need a dashboard and we want you to give us a dashboard. Okay. Um why am I not hearing myself? Please hold on a second. Trying to understand why. Okay. Yeah, much better. All right, so this is the request that you get. Let's have a conversation on this. I'm sure you guys can see my screen. Okay, so you are tasked to design a dashboard for a smart home heating solution, and yeah, so it's an apartment building. You have the flats with three bedrooms and the dining, the kitchen, and the storeroom, and you need to set up a dashboard in the master bedroom. So that you have like a tablet, like a I don't know, should I say 22-inch, screen, right? Where you can simply perform some sort of actions, right, on this solution. Okay. Now let's start taking some of the questions. What exactly are we tracking? Of course, we know some of the information here that we need, but let me ask you guys. So, what exactly are we tracking? Okay, please, everybody, unmute yourself. I hope you don't have any background noise there. Unmute yourself. Let's discuss. We are just three on the call, right? Three of you. So, what exactly are we tracking? How do we begin to capture some of this information? Nina, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Please, fast.
There's noise on my background though.
I can't hear the noise. Oh.
Okay. All right. So we want to know the level of heat in in the house. Level of heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Level of heat in the house. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any
Okay.
other thing?
I'm asking you. You're asking me. Look at
Away.
that information now.
Uh
What will be important to you, right? If you are designing the solution. I
maybe
mean, just
someone else can.
look at it from your.
Let me still be thinking.
Oh yeah, be thinking. Someone else. Omotoyosin. That's the name, right? Yeah. How do you pronounce this name? Junaid. Junaid.
Good evening, sir. It's Junaid.
Junaid. Okay. Are you okay? I wanted to ask, are you Nigerian?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, what do you want to capture from here? What do you want to capture? Look at it. What is important to you? What do you think is important to anyone that is you know looking at the dashboard? Yeah, what do you think you want to capture?
I'm still thinking, sir.
Ah, man, I mean, maybe I'll be giving out this information so that you guys can come along after thinking for like 48 hours. I mean, these are things you should learn. So it's more about the questions, right? When you look at the question, you begin to, gather your answer, your when you look at this request, you begin to gather your questions on the fly, right? You know, most of the questions you need are already inside this tiny request you're seeing here. So look at it and ask questions. Um, yeah, ask questions and then tell me what you think we can get. Who is the third person? Ugochukwu. Ugochukwu, I think we have had a conversation before. I can't remember, but I think I recall that name. Ugochukwu. All right, so tell me what
Good,
do we capture here? Yeah, good
good
evening.
evening.
Good evening, good
Yes,
evening.
once we have a conversation.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
dashboard. Let me say, I've never really designed a dashboard before. It's something that I have not really understood how to go about it. But I like this class based on because it's a dashboard solution. So for me, what we should be looking at, apart from the level of heat, as mentioned by Nena,
Mm-hmm.
we should be looking at the time. I mean, the time when we have the most heat in the house. I don't know if I'm right too. Like specific time when the amount of heat is high, then we also should be looking at the time.
Ugochukwu. Okay. Yeah, hold on. Let me add this. I think maybe there's something I would want us to okay. Good evening, please. Can you show us an example of no. We don't need to see an example. I want us to understand something, right? Design, especially dashboard design, is mostly going to, have to do with the data that we have, right? When you are trying to gather those data, of course, you will have to ask a lot of questions, okay? But then before you can ask those questions, you have to put yourself, in the position of that person, in the position of, an ideal person, living in this apartment. So let's step back a bit, right? Let's look at the question we have here, right? We have an apartment building, a flat with 3 bedroom, dining, kitchen, and the storeroom. So let's begin to ask some questions. Okay, I'm going to assume that Amaka owns this flat, right? Okay, so here are some of the questions I would ask. Amaka, if you own this flat, first off, can you give me like the location? Just give me any location that you have in mind.
Here's Ikeja.
Sorry, what did you say?
Ikeja.
Ikeja. Okay, that's a nice one. All right. So I'm beginning to gather information about the ideal user, right? And we're just making an assumption that Amaka is that person. It means if I'm going to show information on the dashboard, I need to at least start off with the location, the heat in that area. If I can connect to like a weather solution, a weather API or something, and I can gather some information from there that I will show on the dashboard to say in the next 3 hours, in the next 5 hours, in the next 10 hours, the heats in this your environment, we get to this point. And based on that data, right, we would be able to at least, present that data and also put, like options to regulate, the heat if we are doing automated regulation or if it has to be manual. But you need to gather the information around the entities. Now, we have two entities in this picture, right? Of course, it can be more, but I'm giving an assumption of two because the first one is very important, which is the apartment itself, right? That one is very important. Now, the apartment itself has a lot of connecting points, right? Connecting points such as the first one we've gathered here, which is location, right? But then the next data point is about the person, you know, living in this apartment. It can be people, and of course, I'm getting to that, right? So I'm saying the person because if you have a flat with 3 bedroom, obviously you are not expected to be single. But let's assume your village people, made you single, and you have 3 bedroom with dining, kitchen, and the storeroom. It means you have a lot of questions to answer. Okay, so now another question I would have for the person is, or let's try to map. Let's just try to put like an assumption to this as well. So let's say the person living here is Amaka, and I would just say, Amaka, forgive me, right? So I'll say 3 kids. Okay, So Amaka and husband, right? Plus 3 kids. Yeah, we're trying to look at what we have in this. I mean, it's a flat with 3 bedroom. Don't know who is going to sleep in the other place, but yeah. So now my question to you, Amaka, is given this assumption, where are we going to install this heating machine, right? That will be connected in this apartment. Looking at the fact that you have 3 bedrooms, a dining, a kitchen, and a storeroom. Where do you want this heating device to be installed?
Probably the kitchen.
Okay, because you're using Ikeja. At least when I say smart heating solution, you should at least understand that you're in Canada, right? And that was why I'm asking because we're changing this already. One day you
Oh, okay.
allow me speak pidgin for
It
this.
has to be in the no, it has to be in the sitting room.
Nena, I almost asked Amaka one, very weird question. Like smart heating solution, you want to put heat in Nigeria in Ikeja. Not to kill yourself.
Country's already to
I'm telling you, the country is already very hot. Okay. So the location here is Canada. So now that I've changed the location, Amaka, where do you want to have these heaters installed?
the sitting room and the bedrooms.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So I think I forgot to include the sitting room with a sitting room. So one room, 3 bedroom. Okay. Hope that is, yeah, so don't use too much space. Okay, so now we've understood that, I mean, you're beginning to see the data that we're capturing now, right? So let's say the heater installations, that will be in the, yeah, so sitting room and bedroom. Okay. All right. So if we have the installations in, it means 3 bedrooms, right? So three
Yeah.
bedroom. So it means on our dashboard, we expect to at least see the information of this heater in the 3 bedrooms and the sitting room. That's what you want to see on the app. You don't want to look at this dashboard and you are only seeing the detail of maybe the sitting room and not the bedroom, right? Or you're seeing the detail of only one bedroom. You want to be able to capture this info. Now you can imagine the amount of information we're capturing already. Remember, you have a section where you say, okay, looking at the weather for today, tomorrow will be this or that, and the heater should be adjusted to this specific number, because that will be ideal for this weather, right? Given the situation, or given the nature of the apartment, right? You are gathering this information. Those are the things that make the users informed, right? If you don't ask this question, if you don't put yourself in that position, to be able to ask yourself, okay, if I'm living in this house, right? I am married, living with my wife and the kids, right? There's a kitchen, there's a storeroom. Where do I actually need this heater? Right? Of course, there are things you have to consider because you're human, right? The cost, right? When you consider cost, you tell yourself, okay, I just need this in the bedroom and the sitting room, or maybe I don't even need it in the sitting room, I need it in the bedroom, right? It means even on the dashboard or this app, you need to be able to configure, the places that you've installed. I mean, by the time you start asking yourself these questions, a lot of things begins to come up, right? There will be a configuration panel somewhere where you can, connect the heater, which is the device, to the application. So if you have 10 bedrooms, you can connect 10 of these heaters to the application. And from the room where you are using maybe the master bedroom or something, you are able to, see all the bedrooms straight on that dashboard, right? Dashboard design has to be, dynamic and flexible enough, to at least have enough space for other things to come in, right? If they need to come in. Okay. The point is, if the users need more information, you have to give them more information, right? If you have that data, you have to give them more information. Okay, everything adds up to build that good experience. Now we've known the location, so some of the things we've understood that we're going to have will be, weather information, right? So maybe not necessarily forecast. We can connect to some API to give us that information, right? And the next thing we have after gathering the information would, of course, be recommendation. Now we have two data points, that we can simply render on that dashboard, right? The next thing is, of course, the installations, right? we need to capture and show, where we have these, heater installed, right? So we can have like heaters slash, installations, of course, within the apartment. Now that alone comes with, its own information, right? So the heater, you can say heater one in the room one, right? And it's currently at level this, right? Which is the amount of heat that is, bringing up, okay, or bringing out. So we have, or probably would get back to. We don't need to write that down, do we? We don't have to. Okay, so what you are tracking is the heater itself, and I think that is the third, entity that we need to bring in here. So that is what we are tracking. Now, at least we've known that we need to track the numbers, right? The total numbers slash the information, which is things like, the heat level. Okay, now this heater and the heat level can be automatically adjusted based on the weather information, right? You can even decide to say, you have a button that you can use to determine if it has if it works with autopilot. Let's call it autopilot, which is automatic, maybe more like what's the name of that button? More like I don't know, checkbox. Checkbox might not be the best option. I think instead we'll go with what? Oh, I keep forgetting the name. Okay, I will show you. I've forgotten the exact name of that component, that design token. Uh, what is that called? You find it a lot on Apple devices, Amaka, on your iPhone, when you're trying to turn something on or off. Remind me of the name, please. Forgotten the name.
Is it the toggle button?
Toggle button. Yeah, that's the toggle. Thank you. Thank you. It is. So, you can actually have something like this that would, give you either, manual or autopilot, right? So to say, if I toggle this, if I just click on this, then the device, has the ability to, control the the heater, right? But of course, you want to also set, a certain max level, right? You want to set a max level, so that if this device or the app should malfunction, it doesn't kill you with heater. So you want to set a max level, and of course, that would come in that would come into the config panel, right? You would always want to have a configuration panel, Now we might not, design that right on this call, but the point is you actually need it, right? You need it so that you'll be able to, do some configuration, like setting the max level, configuring the heaters and the room, right? Configuring the heater. Okay, maybe setting up things like, sensors and all that, but we'll get back to that. Now you are seeing we are capturing enough information already. We have this person's information, right? And of course, what we can display about this person would be profile. So we can say welcome Amaka, right? The profile. So we want to be able to capture a little bit of profile information about this person, right? Maybe the picture, the first name, and some other details might show up on that dashboard, right? What else do we need to capture here on this dashboard? What do you think is worth capturing? From what I've gathered here now, we are able to at least determine some of the actions that we might need to perform, right? Adjusting the heater level, per room, or, all at once. Okay. So, of course, adjusting the heat level per room, or all rooms at once. Come on, let's just say all configured rooms. Okay, go ahead. I think someone is raising. You are raising your hand, right? Yes, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I think it would be safer to adjust it per room, because what you may want to have in the children room might differ from what you want to have in your own room at a given time.
Hmm.
Uh,
Do you
I
think
think
there are scenarios where you probably want to, configure the heater, to heat up all the rooms to a certain level while you and your family are away, maybe while you guys are coming back home or something, and you probably just want to set all of them to the same level
okay.
immediately rather than having to repeat, do you understand
Okay.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it possible to also have the both options if you want to set everything at once and if
Yeah.
you want to do it separately?
In your design, you can. In your design, you can. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other additions? I mean, if you actually begin to drill down on some of these questions, putting yourself, I think sometimes we should learn to imagine, right? Imagination is very good. Trust me, I imagine a lot. I think that's what brings about creativity most times, right? So if I'm going to work on any architecture or design or product, whatever it is, I imagine myself in that position. If I'm trying to come up with something for the user, I imagine myself as the user, right? If I'm trying to put myself in the position of the business, I imagine myself as the owner of the business, and I begin to ask myself, some of the questions that I'm asking now. I list out these questions, and then I pick those questions and I start asking, the potential client or the potential business person, those set of questions that I've written down or something, right? So these are some of the questions that I've been able to ask. Okay, you know, I am living in that house. I want to be able to adjust, the temperature, um, by adjusting the heater, right, in each room, or maybe all at a time if I'm on my way back from work. Okay, and obviously the weather is very cold. I just need to make sure the house is a bit heated up, so that when the family gets home, they can decide to adjust some of these. They can decide to adjust the heat level, right, by themselves as well. Okay, and we are currently working with the bedroom and the sitting room, so we did not include the kitchen or the storeroom, which is fine, right, for our assumption. Um, okay, we also set up this, right, autopilot, which would automatically adjust, based on which other thing. What are we missing? What do you think we are missing that should be displayed? What do you think is the most important, right? Maybe we can also set that in the configuration section where you can configure, kind of like the base, should I call it the base? Maybe we don't need to call it the base, but I would say the particular room that you want to see at first, right? But I don't think that is necessary. Instead, our design can actually have something that would be able to show all, right? We just have maybe a swipe feature. Okay. All right. So with this information, I think we can actually start doing design. We're already late. I'm just going to rush through this. Okay. So if there's anything you don't understand, you can always watch this video again. I'm actually going to rush through our design here. All right. So I have a desktop screen. Now I mentioned earlier, dashboards would depend on what you are trying to build. I'm sure most of you, when I wrote dashboard, you're expecting to see side menu, lots of tables, blah blah blah. I gave those as descriptions, right? But for the dashboard we're looking at, this is a smart home solution. You don't need to have a lot of things there, right? It's not an enterprise solution. What we are going to design is, it's going to be a nice, I would say, beautiful dashboard. Maybe not something that you are expecting to see, but let's try to make it good. Let's try to make it good. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, of course, will be to set a background. I would love to, maybe I would have two themes, right? But I can start with the dark theme. Okay, so let's just go with 161616. All right, and for this guy, increase the background a bit so that this I'll be able to see what I have. All right. So next, let me just throw this in here. I would like to use a frame for that. Okay. Um, put in some guides. Love to use some layout guides. So change this to column. Let's work with 12. So let's work with a margin of 80. I think 80 should be fine. Okay. So yeah, 80 should be fine. So, we have that screen, right, which is a tablet. Then I have this. Let's do 20 for the border radius. Let's do 42. Keep it smooth. All right. A little bit of white stroke because I need to add this. Okay. All right. At least now we know our boundary. The next thing I probably just want to include would be, this is too much. Let's drop it down. Yeah, 5 is fine. Okay, so I think 5 is looking okay. All right, so next I want to start putting some details here. I'm going to first duplicate this. I want to be able to swipe for multiple room detail. Of course, I'll design the base. The base one would appear somewhere here. Let's cut this, paste it in here. Cut this, paste it in here. Move it down somewhere here. All right. Okay, so we're going to have a swipe feature. But let's bring this one to the center first. For this one, I don't need that stroke. I mentioned that we're going to be gathering some, we're going to be putting some of the information that we're gathering here for the outline. Let's do 0.5, 0.5. Okay. So depending on the amount of rooms that we've configured, we're going to have those information for each room appear here. Maybe at the top here, I can actually just show hello, marker. Okay, so what's that font size? Let's do 24. Don't worry, everybody working with me, I have their picture somewhere. People, Amaka, a lot of nice pictures here. So, so we don't really have like a particular color that we want to use for the whole thing. Although I think I might, want to go with this this color, at least because of my dark theme. What I would do is, yeah, I can keep it this way. So I have hello Amaka. So let's do hello comma, and I have Amaka. Let's make that a bit. No, not that. The whole thing. So let's just do hello. Take this off. Okay, duplicate that. Layout. Marker. Four, 8. Okay. Medium. So we have. Okay. We'll do 100 fill. Drop that down to like 10. Stroke. White. 0.5. Just want to make sure I have that. Yep. 12. Okay. Let's remove this for now. Okay. So this is what I have. Okay. So I used 42 earlier for that border radius. Let's go with 24. Change this instead of 42. Let's use 48. Now I have 24 here. Fill that. Drop it down. 5, push it down here, can blend with this guy. Okay. Now that 24 doesn't seem to work because of the circular stuff we have in there. I'd go with 32, or maybe the same, go with the same 48. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But then on the side, probably want to have that even extended. So I'll do 24. That's too small. So I'll do 30. Oh yeah, 24 is fine. I think I just need to set that to hug. All right. So I can have some, space there. Okay. So the next thing I want to capture, remember I mentioned that was, kind of like the heat level. Um, Not for the house yet, but generally, right? So I want to capture the heat level generally. I need to get some icons. Of course, that's why I shared my entire screen. So let's check out flat icons. I'm going to search for heat. Let's see. Okay, well, this is fire and not heat. Okay, so I think I know what I'm going to do. Let's start by duplicating this, unpin, duplicate. Next to be icon scouts. Let's try to get like, the general weather first for that environment, which is of course Canada, right? I'm also going to free pick, to at least, add a level of beauty to our design. It looks dark and ugly for now, right? So let's search for night, because we're on the dark theme. So since we can choose the theme that we want, we can also set that theme to adjust automatically. Where we would say at night, we have like a different, background, and during the day we have, of course, a beautiful, different, nice background. Okay, so you can try to be artistic. So let's go with something like this. We're going to paste that in here, send it to the back, send it to the back. Okay. Now we have that sitting behind there. So let's expand this. Right. I think there's a bit of movement somewhere. So Control Z first. My mouse is messing up these days. Keeps pushing everything everywhere. So let's increase this again. All right. So that's our dark theme. We just have to include first increase the contrast. I love increasing the contrast of my images, right? And yeah, the next thing I'll do is to try uh, blend this. So let's go down to soft light. Okay, and I'll then increase this to like 80. All right, make it a bit darker. Maybe that's too much. Let's do 60. So I blend in that with soft lights. The next thing I'll do is to add another level of overlay on this, and then adjust that overlay to like 60, right? So we have that 70. Okay. Now for the first background that I added earlier, I can go ahead to add a particular effect with background blur, not layer blur. So that would be like 10, right? To make it a bit, blurry. Okay. Now for the next one, remember this is where we're going to put in the information on that. Yeah, I think I can also expand this. Let's expand this. So that by the time it appears here, when you swipe in, you have that animation, or it can be small, and when it appears here, it becomes big. Anyone is fine, right? Anyone is fine. You are testing, so you can always play around with some of these things. But the point is, when I swipe in, I want it to just show, right? Make it obvious that, oh, we just swiped in here. So yeah, select these two group and make sure we centralize it very well. Okay, so for this one, this is where I would increase. So let's do 20. No, that is not very good. Remember, we're working with dark team here. Just recall that we're working with dark team here. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So for I think I went to, yeah, I searched for weather. I'm trying to grab like, the weather information, weather. Let's also go to Gemini. I want to ask some questions. Okay, so it's already night time for that dark theme. Which option should I go with here? And by the way, you can also choose like to have that theme even though it's not, nighttime yet. The weather would always change, depending on, yeah, so it can be cloudy, it can be a lot of things, right? What I just want to do is to use a set of icon that, you know, that can change, right? A set of icon that can change. So let me go with this, but I would have preferred something that's, I can, okay, I'm going to grab SVG instead because I want to be able to adjust it. Okay, that did not copy. All right, so let's go with pure white. Okay, so this is where I am going to put in like, the information that I want about the current weather. So that's why I pulled up ChatGPT. So let's search for weather information that I can capture on my UI design, right? Okay, so let's see. So the current temperature, very important. Yeah, so these are core weather information. Okay, so we need to capture the current temperature. Now let's duplicate this and pull it out. So we have the current temperature. And this font size obviously is too big, so let's go with 16. Make sure we adjust this back to 0 instead of yeah. So we have the current temperature. What else do we need to capture? The weather condition, right? So that is also very important. What else do we need to capture? If it's high or low. So yeah, indicate the expected temperature um, range for the day. Okay, so if it's, I think that's a good one as well. So high or low temperature. Then the okay, so this would display the likelihood of the likelihood and amount of okay, precipitation expected, whether it rains, no. Okay, so I think that's more like the projection, right? Humidity. Okay, so the thing is, there are also icons that we can grab for this. Of course, we don't have enough time, but I would have loved to. It's already 10:08. Hmm. Okay, okay, let's just work with this for now so we can rush through, right? So now the thing is, it would be nice if you actually include icons as well for some of this information, but since it's late, right, I'm just going to rush through this, so that we don't spend more than maybe 10:30, right? And yeah, I'm sorry that we can't spend more than that time because I know most of you need to sleep. All right, so let's just work with this. These are, some of the information that we're going to capture for now, right? This icon here would always change, depending on the current, weather condition, right? It would always change depending on the current weather condition. So let's adjust this size. I would go with 14. Yeah, and I'll just, apply auto layout there. Keep this at 8 for the gap, right? Now, remember, as I've mentioned, that is going to change based on the weather condition. The next thing we're going to have is, I think I would also love to indicate, I don't know, maybe the country, right? So I just realized that this is also too big. Let's drop it a bit. Yep. Use some auto layout as guide here. Make sure it appears in the center as well. Then I can adjust if I need to. Okay. All right. So what can I use for the temperature sign there? So let's come here. Let's do temperature. Okay. So now this is going to be for the configured rooms. All right. So we can begin to put some text. Let's duplicate this. Drop it here. So let's just call it master bedroom. Bedroom. Okay. So let's scale this up. You know, scale it up bold, but not very bold. So I'll switch down to maybe medium, right? So this is one of the bedroom that we've configured. Now, what are the set of information that we need to show here? Remember, we are yet to include the country that we have, right? The location, right? Because this information is based on a specific location. We have not captured that location information yet, but we need to, right? We have to. Maybe what I can do is simply duplicate this, group this together and set maybe 32. Of course, you have to make sure it is hugged, right? Just like that. And in here, I can, show the logo, right? Or the country flag. Here I can have the country, and maybe here I can have the town, right? So what I can do is break this, reduce the size that I have here down to maybe 14 or even 12, and then this one down to like 14, not 12 but 14. Okay. Now for this one, I can actually take it down to light. Um, Drop the size I have here to 4 or maybe 2. Okay, take off the first auto layout there, take off the second one. We're simply capturing this, so this should be Canada. Amaka, give me a place in Canada. Don't for my handle. Sharp place in Canada. Can you guys hear me? Is Amaka sleeping? Okay, so let's get the Canadian. Oh, what happened? What happened? I mentioned your name like 72 times. Okay, so this is Canada.
You can use Alberta.
Oh, I already put Quebec there. That's where I've been to in my dreams, right? So yeah, copy. I don't know. Is it my internet? I copy and I can't. Oh boy. All right. So let's drop this to 32. Not that. Yep. Here 32. Okay. So that's fine. Okay, so at least now we're able to capture like the location. One thing we can also do, if that is necessary for you, for a lot of people, they love to do that, right? A lot of busybody, they like to capture location, right? By taking latitude and longitude information. Not very, I don't think I would say it's necessary, but if you are that person and you want to capture such information, yeah, I think it's fine. It is fine. All right, so what I need now is this copy, drop it in here. Okay, and I would also adjust the size so we can maintain that, height. I think we can also maintain the height for this. So we're working with 32. Here, we're also working with 32. So that's what we have. I'll just have to drop this, use a fill, right click and make it a frame. Drop the fill to like 10, something like this. Get the location thing I want from here. Copy the SVG. Come in here since it's now a frame. Paste and drop the size. We can do like 16 by 16 and bring it to the center just like this. Set that to be white. So here we can have like the lat and long. So I can take this off and keep them at the same size. So I'm just putting random numbers here, lat and long. How do you specify which is lat and which is long? So we can just duplicate this, auto layout, sit on the same line. Here we can have lat, make it bold. Let's work with medium. Yep, now we have two items here sitting in the center. So we can duplicate, delete. Sorry, hold on. Okay, so let's duplicate. All right, so that's long, LON. Okay, so now we have this record. Now we can adjust. Yeah, let's hug. Nice. Okay, so we've been able to capture an additional information here. We're still in the master bedroom, section here. Let's, make that a bit tight, for the text, right? And one major thing, remember I mentioned that we can have the autopilot, setting, right? I mentioned that earlier. Let's take this back a bit and put in that autopilot mode. So I'm going to copy what I have here because I'm going to need it, right? And then I'm going to create this guy. Let's set that to like 100. Just have it fill up the entire place there. Bring this to the front. Expand this. Now you can actually just use auto layout for this, anyways. So, but yeah, I already started doing it maybe the wrong way. So let's just continue. And yeah, so I have this maybe set to black, but not totally black. So let's put some level of transparency there as well. And okay, so that's fine. Select this, group with this. If you want to add a bit of a 3D, you can actually do that, but that will not be necessary for me. So if autopilot is on, you can actually have a different, feel, right? How that would appear. Let's go ahead and, frame this selection first. So what we have in there would not at least affect, some other places. Let me go ahead and raise this down to like 50 and then apply a bit of linear gradient that looks like this. For this dark side here, let's keep it this way. So for the top, make it a bit bright. Okay. And I think I can actually increase this to like 80 or so. All right. And maybe apply like a stroke that is white with 0.5. And that is, the section I called auto layout. Let's drop it down to like 20 for the outline. Okay, duplicate this and we call this, I said auto layout, auto pilot, autopilot mode. Okay, so let's scale this down. Scale autopilot mode. Maybe this can be the bottom. Now, while you're looking at this design, of course, you might be telling yourself, oh, this can be, much better. Why is it doing it this way? Why is it doing it that way? Now, remember, we are designing on the fly, right? You can actually get something way better, right? But then, one thing that I think we actually need right now, right here, um,
I can't hear Mr. Marv anymore.
Same with me.
I guess network has taken him out.
My thoughts. Network these days is very, very erratic.
You can say that again.
Oh boy, sorry about that, guys. Power supply and there are plenty problems. So I use I think my home network. The guys I'm subscribed to probably just switched off. I don't know how they did that, but everything just went off, right? And everybody connected to my home network. Every single person, everybody got disconnected. Sorry about that. So this is where I was basically trying to show us how we can capture some additional information, especially for the where's flat icons? Yeah, especially for the heater, right? Remember, I said we're also going to at least see the temperature level. Now, the thing about trying to track that temperature, it will be very difficult, to go the route of trying to use the icon, right? The only thing I would want to use the icon for is to at least display that icon, display the sorry, to at least display that this control that we are trying to design would be for the icon. Okay, so I'm going to copy this right now, and then I'm going to duplicate this because I'll first have to frame it. Remember, I've told you we need to do that before. So frame, put the icon in there. So by default, the icon would of course be very large. Why is it not? Come on, copy. And I usually have challenge with this, website, wasting time to apply that function that I'm asking of. So let's put this in the center. I think it was 16 I used earlier or 18. I can't remember. Oh, okay. I think it was 14, right? But let's just use 18 for this. What I'm trying to do here, this has to be, remember, this is the light theme. It has to be white. And this guy can probably reduce it. I think I can reduce it. And then for this one inside, let's just stick to 14 now. Okay. So now for the background, and drop the white there down to like 10. So now this is the part where we have to display what we can use to adjust, right? We have to display what we can use to adjust. If it's on autopilot, the expectation is that this would automatically adjust itself, right? So if it's on autopilot, then we'll probably want to have the fill set to I would say maybe we can do something like this. I don't know, green. What green would make sense here? Okay. I don't think that makes sense. White. Well, I've seen a lot of white. So I mean, there's so many decisions to to be made here, right? But I don't think this is so bad. I mean, if you ask me. Let's see, -2. Okay, autopilot mode. 24, so that's a 12. So I don't think this is so bad, right? Yeah. The next thing I can just decide to do would have to be, let's create a bit of a rectangle. Okay. Okay, so this is basically what we can use to adjust that heat level, right? Manually. Okay, I think that was yeah, hold down that shift key. Okay, so this is what we can use to adjust it. And of course, if this has been adjusted and you want to, track some numbers, right? You want to track some numbers on it. So let's go ahead and select this. There's an auto layout there, so this can fit in properly. So let's say you have from 0 to 100. Now, to be honest with you, I don't even think um, I can put that degree sign from my keyboard. Okay, so yeah, let me just is it ChatGPT? No, let's go with Gemini. Okay, and I'm just going to say um okay, hit degree measurement. Okay, so let's just give me like a sample. Oh boy. Okay, so 65F. This one is saying average. Okay. By the way, whatever we have here is just dummy data. Dummy data. Copy and paste. Why is my paste not working? Control V. Okay, something wrong. Let's go again. Control C. Control V. Okay. So now for this one, it can be bigger, bigger. Okay. -4. Now the thing is, you want to be able to show, if the number there is good, right, or not. Um, yeah. So maybe you want to have a way to track, what you consider to be okay or to be, bad, right? Um, of course, if you spend enough time trying to actually build, design this, I'm sure you'll get the right should I say the right way to set it up. What we can do, at least for now, is yeah, let's drop this a bit somewhere here. So what we can do for now is to just capture healthy, healthy. That's, I don't know. Okay. Um, Now because I don't have enough information, we did not gather enough information here. Let's just use uh perfect. Let's just use the keyword perfect for this. Make sure everything is properly center aligned. Okay. But then this number, I have a bit of a challenge with this number. I think what I would want to do is make this number very bold, right? I think you really want to see that number bold. Okay. Very bold. So I'm going to try a new option instead. Let's make that big. Okay, let's see. So we're going to have a couple of, I'm trying to like share this screen now. Yeah, so I want to see what works best in terms of where these things can sit on. So if I have auto layer, if I have autopilots on the other side, I scale this number very well. Okay. Okay, so this section here is mostly going to show like status. So we have autopilot mode turned on. And then this is the information of, what we're tracking. We're tracking the information from the room. Let's come down here to take maybe like heater. Let's see if we can get any icon that works. Something like this. This air conditioner. This is what? Water heater. This is also air source, heat pump. Okay. What is this? Heater. Okay, let's work with this. Let's copy that. I don't know how many of you are sleeping already. Nena.
Present.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. That's impressive. All right. Okay, so let's go with 16. Okay, so I have some ID, the heater ID, and maybe some additional info, right? Temp. So now that this is more like a tiny repetition of this 65 degree. Let's just copy this, paste it in here. But of course, I need to click on this, right click, copy the property, right click on this, and then just paste that property there. Okay, keep this light, or this can be light instead. So we have this set to light, this one set to medium or bold. Temperature. Okay. So this is for the master bedroom. Okay. So of course, this is the part where I think we have a little bit of challenge, right? I think I'm still battling to accept the font that I have there and the position of things. Of course, this is what takes our time the most. Why is that not? Hmm.
Maybe the other one, the black one is not it's not a
Yeah,
frame. So.
yeah. I mean, I've tried to make the frame several times. That's correct. It wasn't a frame. So let's do that outside first. Thank you. see. There is a frame component somewhere here. Okay, took that off. Okay, so yeah, so I think one thing I was actually looking at using here, which I think would actually, help the user experience as well, is if we have some sort of gauge, right? Maybe on this side. Okay, so I'm not, 100% sure how that would, how users would, probably want to use that. But what I'm thinking is something that they can just, tilt around, right? Um, yeah, yeah, we have some of the major, info that we want to capture, right? Some of the major info they're already sitting here. The temperature, if it's on autopilot, it's adjusted automatically with this guy here. It's on autopilot. Okay, I'm thinking I have this. Okay, right. Okay, so now that last part is where I think there's a bit of, because I'm thinking what icon can fit in very well here, right? I can't quite picture the icon. So something more like a gauge. But in my head at the moment, I can't actually picture something that I would be able to, like use. So if you have anything in mind, let me just search one more time. It's already 10:40, but I'm not sure I can get that icon. So we already have like this slider here, right? I think maybe there's some information we're missing, but I don't want us to have like too much text, right? This is already okay. Okay, what I think some people would do here. Okay, I think I got something. So let me go to Icon Scout and I'll just search for that heater. So I made a mistake. Heater. Is that even? I don't even know how to spell correctly. Oh, Jesus Christ. Where is the H coming from? Yep, without the H. Mhm. PNG. I would say black color. Hey, wait, what is this? Okay, yeah. Okay, so I wish I could take off like that white background, but I'm not using my MacBook, so it might be difficult. But let me try it. Let me try it. So because we have a lot of space and um, I just wanted to optimize by not adding more text. So I think I have something in mind, right? And I would love to try it if it can give me, what I want. Okay, so I'm not sure this. I think this background is not transparent. What about this one? Doesn't look transparent still. Okay, okay, this is not bad. I'll bring that guy back in. Let's just drop this here. Okay. Okay. So I just try to, mock that device. So that's what it looks like. And this is where we apply autopilot. Okay, so I need to bring that on top of it. So, just like I mentioned, I know very well that, I believe there are ways to make this better, not necessarily like this. So if it's turned on, we need to have that feel that this is turned on. Although the set of green I'm seeing here don't seem to like them. Okay. Um, so we're going to stick to using this slider, right? And maybe the images here can actually change from time to time depending on I would say the particular model that was installed. From here we can gather some of those information, including the model info, right? um, Model. So we can actually gather some of those information. Now, keeping your design this way might not, I would say, might not always be the best, right? Especially if you look at the way these things are arranged, right? So what I would usually advise that you do is yeah, what I would usually advise you do is to probably do something like this, not to this one, the last item there, 1, 2, 3. So if we group it this way, you can then proceed to delete some of the items like 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. Oh boy. Okay, I need to bring back some items. So this should be device ID. Paste it here. Temperature. Paste it here. Okay. Delete this one. So I thought I had one. Oh yeah, model should be here. Okay. So now I can delete these guys. Device ID, copy. So 1, 2, 3. Model can be model T. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all. That's all. taking too much time. Apologies. I'll stop here for tonight. And if you have questions, we can actually discuss that on the next call. So there are different types of dashboard. What we've actually designed is just to capture some information around this smart home setup that we have, right? Um, some of the things that I think are not properly displayed, sorry, or showcased well would be something like the master bedroom, right? That is a very vital information, but the way it's displayed here, I think it's not bold enough, right? I don't think it's bold enough. One thing I was actually thinking of doing was maybe to bring in, there's a bit of confusion here. They both look like sliders. Maybe to bring in this guy here, right? Because it's close to the image of that device, right? So, and then move this info that we have here away so that we can also scale this down because I feel it's, probably too much. The text autopilot mode also kind of like affects what we have here. Yeah, but of course this can be made, better. I'm just going to stop here for now. Master bedroom. Okay, so I'm just going to stop here for now. The point is, when you actually swipe, you get to see the other rooms, right? Pop out from the side and replace what you have here. Um, yeah, if you think through, the design, I'm sure you would eventually, get to add other meaningful components to this design. Okay, so thank you, and yeah, sorry that I took so long to get here. In the next class, we'll also discuss more on dashboards, and we'll probably, discuss how you can, get to work on the regular type of, business dashboards that you know of, right? Yeah. So if you have any questions, I might not be able to take them now, but you can, share in the chat. Okay, you can share in the chat. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Amaka.
Thanks, boss. Thank you.